Hey guys, Hea-Hack Gun here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the Magnet Switch Keitai Deluxe S-megaphone from Kamen Rider Forza. This is a cell phone that also acts as Forza's first power-up item, allowing him to become magnet state. This includes the S-megaphone, however, is actually a 2-in-1 item. As the prefix to the name suggests, it also consists of the magnet switches. Now yes, I said magnet switches, as you can see right there. This is made up of 2 switches. So it's a 2-in-1 item. So looking at first, as the S-megaphone, we have the red half, which has silver paint, creating an outline for the letter N. And on the other side we have the blue half, which has silver paint, creating an outline for the letter S. Obviously this is for the 2 polarities of magnetism, north and south. We have the sides, the other side, bottom and top. As you can see, each half has its own power switch. Then taking a look at the inside, opening it up, just like so. We've got the top half here, which has a display screen, as well as Forza symbol plus Kamen Rider Club Amagawa High School, as this is also the symbol for the Kamen Rider Club. We also have mail, clock, battery power, volume, signal strength, and AMA clock, the time on Sunday mornings when Forza is on the air. And as can be seen, the pattern is red and blue, with a gradient in the middle. On the bottom half we have the keypad, with the numbers 1 through 9, the star key, the pound key, mail key, as well as pick up and hang up. Though none of these are actual buttons. Wrong with red, this is supposed to be a touch keypad. Though that's really just an excuse for the fact that the sounds are not operated through this keypad, but rather through this trigger right here, which will come into play in both mobile phone mode, which is this, and switch mode, which is when they're separated. Another cool thing is that when you have it open and you take a look at the back, because of the way it's shaped, you have NS displayed right there. So that's a nice design feature. So to split into the 2 magnet switches, it involves this latch right here. Just press in these 2 tabs, then pull them apart. Now you have them in switch mode. So these are number 30, the N magnet switch, and number 31, the S magnet switch. So first is the N magnet switch, which is a red circle switch, though this is a darker color of red plastic than was used for the fire switch. We have the symbol with the number 30 and a magnet shaped into the letter N. The activation switch is right here. It simply is press in and pull out activation switch. And while the actual switch section has no paint on it, that's because all the paint went into the upper part. Specifically, all the silver paint here and all the silver paint back here. Secondly is number 31, the S magnet switch, which, with the N magnet switch being the red part of magnet, number 31 is the blue part of magnet, so it is a blue switch. Once again, this is a different color of blue than the other blue switch released, which was the Meteor switch. A much darker and more normal color of blue. We have the sticker with the number 31 and a magnet curved into the shape of an S. It is a square switch, and its activation switch is the same as the N magnet, just flipped. Once again, all the paint that is not here is applied all to here. It's all this silver. So before I show these off in the Forza driver, I'm going to show what it does as the S-megaphone. So in mobile phone mode, each switch has its own sounds. Now I'm going to go over these switches one at a time. So I'm going to start off with the end magnet switch. So for the top half, just switch it on like that. Going to do that once again. So you get a startup sound and a red LED shining through here. There are two sounds that makes that in mobile phone mode. First is when you press the N trigger right here. It says, "You got mail." Which is actually something that probably a lot of people haven't heard, probably don't hear that much these days, because this is past the days when your computer would say "you got mail" to you. And usually when you get a text message or mail on your phone, it doesn't actually say so. That's pretty cool. And secondly, lifting down this cover, you can press the button right here for a number dialing sound. And from the way it sounds, the sound for the number dialing was taken from one of the Fi's phones, or one of the Henshin phones from Counter Fi's. Now, as this seems to be the middle tone, I'm not sure if this is from the Fi's phone or the Keitai phone, though from what I've been reading, it's most likely from the Keitai phone. So that's pretty interesting. The switch that has the bulk of sounds in mobile phone mode is the S-magnet switch. Okay, so you can turn this one on too, just like this. This one has a different on sound. Now, just before I go into it, I'm going to explain that this has more sounds because this one contains character phrases, 13 to be specific. Now, this is pretty similar to another cell phone toy I reviewed a while back, which was the Keitai from Counter Denno. However, whereas that one had a bunch of random phrases that also had a mishmash of different parts of phrases, this one has 13 specific phrases that are heard through two different ways. One is by pressing the S trigger, and the other is by waiting for the ringtone. They are specifically separated into those two categories, and they don't overlap. So we'll start off with the trigger press sounds, which there are 7, from 3 different characters. That one is Kengo Udahoshi, Forza's tactical advisor and a member of the Conrad Club, as well as the person who normally develops switches and gets them ready for use. That's Yuki Jojima, another member of the Conrad Club and the person who designs all the food droids. And that's Gentaro Kisaragi, the person who turns into Conrad Forza as well as a member of the Conrad Club as well. So, that was just 3 of the sounds, getting to the rest of them. Now, I won't say the translations in here, but I will put them in annotations below. So just make sure I got them all. And yeah, now I've got them all. So the second way to do it is by just waiting for the ringtone. And it takes a little bit for the first time. After you pick up the first time, the frequency becomes more often. Of course, that one should be instantly recognizable to any fan of Forza. Just waiting for the next one. This takes a few seconds. So there are 6 phrases from the ringtones. And actually the joint is pretty strong. We got the peg systems. Okay, just gotta wait for the ringtone again. I mean, yeah, there really isn't anything you can do but wait. Okay. Just gonna wait again. Doesn't matter whether it's open or closed. Okay. No, wait again. I'm just gonna wait a little bit for one that I may or may not have gotten. This should be the last one. Okay, so that's all of them. And just for a look at what the lights look like from the back. So switching up just a little bit. Now that I've shown mobile phone mode, I can show switch mode. So splitting up again. And setting them down. Gonna bring in the Forza driver. And pan up. So, switching on. And doing the transformation sequence. So, for these, this requires removing the rocket switch and the radar switch. So, switching these two on. Then plugging them in. So, they make the switches themselves make the name announcement. So just showing that again because they also have lights to them. So first, I'll show off each one on their own. So now, what I do the proper transformation to magnet state is to actually time the pressing of N then S. Just about like so. And so there, Forza transforms into magnet state. Now for this one, it's interesting in that he doesn't have modules equipped to his arms. Instead, his arms are covered by a couple of magnets. A red magnet on his right arm and a blue magnet on his left arm. Rather, this equips him with the N-MagnetCannon and S-megaphone on his shoulders, which are operated via the two switches, which are now control levers. And so they now have the secondary function of acting as control levers. Another thing to notice is that the Forza driver is actually lighting up with a purple light as a mix of red and blue, which is actually pretty smart. So these make a couple of sounds each on their own. So each one first has a sound when you pull the lever forward or push it forward, depending on whether you're using it from the front or back. For the N-magnet switch, it's this. For the S-magnet switch, it's this. So a booster sound and a cannon adjustment sound. Each one also has a different blast sound when the trigger is pressed. A magnet blast sound and a regular blast sound. You can also use them at the same time. And then, as one step, you can pull the trigger and mix that sound, and that actually does something in the show, in which the two magnet cannons split from magnet state and combine together to form the magnet module, which is a giant floating magnet. See, while they're the magnet cannons, they just fire out blasts, but as the magnet module, it actually acts as a magnet. So it can magnetize things to it and then repel them, basically modifying its magnetism. So while they're like this, the N magnet switch has one additional sound, which is the limit break sound. So it started off by pressing this button here, then pressing the trigger. Doing that one more time. That activates magnet states. Limit break the Rider Super Electromagnetic Bomber. And another thing is that switching on other switches won't allow them to do their limit break, as that sound will happen. Another thing is that while the N magnet switch on its own makes a white line, the N magnet switch actually overrides it. So if you have this on and then press the S magnet switch on, it'll just shift back to the purple light, which is actually a pretty good failsafe. So then just switching them off and removing them, then switching them off, or turning the power off. There we go. And so there's that. So overall, this is actually a pretty cool toy. When it comes down to Bandai, I'm really fond how when they do toys based on cell phones, it's very commonly they use flip phones. I really like that because personally I'm not fond of how everybody has a smartphone or one of those slider phones with a keypad on them these days. I'm personally just more accustomed to the flip phone, which I just find to be more stylish. And, you know, even with the switches hanging off, the S-megaphone is still a pretty stylish looking flip phone. It's also pretty cool how, you know, it actually has a way for you to time the presence of the N and S magnet switches. Though I'll actually let you guys in on a little secret. The S magnet switch is not how it came in the package. I actually modified it a little bit. You see, originally the sounds were slower and lower pitched on the S magnet switch out of the package, and so basically from a video I found, which I'll actually post in an annotation somewhere on the screen, you can open up and by coding a certain part of the motherboard or the soundboard in there, you can actually, well, by coding a little part inside it with graphite, specifically from a graphite pencil, through trial and error, you can actually modify it so that the sounds are a little higher pitched and so they can actually match up with the N magnet switch. I mean, you don't have to do it, it's just something that is possible. If it kind of bugs you that normally they don't actually match up. But regardless of that, it is pretty nice. The character phrases are cool. Design-wise, it's pretty cool. It's also a pretty nice. It's also pretty nice that it has its own features that get added to it when it's using the Forza driver. It actually adds a little bit of playability to the Forza driver besides just turning on switches and activating when it breaks, as well as the transformation. And I also really like it how they put the magnet state sounds into these switches. So, you know, even if you hacked that sound out of the Forza driver, you would, you know, it isn't actually the magnet state sound. Now, as far as other versions of this, I would really just recommend getting the Deluxe and S-megaphone. I've actually seen what the candy toy versions of these two switches look like, and it's rather silly and cartoonish. They actually kind of shrunk down the control levers and boxed them up, causing it to look cartoonish and will just not look all that great. And it's probably going to be something similar for the Gashapon version, because you can't fit something of this size into a Gashapon capsule. So if you're going to go for these, I definitely just recommend getting the S-megaphone. I mean, if you're collecting most of your switches through Gashapon or Candy Toy, you know, if you're going to get just any set of any switches deluxe-wise, then I would really recommend going for this one, because I just don't think that the Keitai or Gachapon versions are really going to stand up to this. And this is the most accurate to the show version that you can get. Also included with this is the same pack of 3 cards that was included with the Meteor Driver and the Meteor Galaxy. So, you know, if you're not collecting Meteor stuff, that gives you a chance to get those cards. But overall, it is a nice, fun toy, and I definitely recommend it to Forza fans and collectors of the Astro Switches. So, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more videos. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.